Welcome to the Buff Show. Matt Buff, your host. Glad to be with you guys. How you doing over there, my son Jordan on the bridge?
I'm doing groovy.
Doing groovy. We're doing the show after he got off his shift at Arby's. He's cooking up the meats over there, aren't you, bud?
Yep, I'm feeding America.
Somebody's got to do it. And you know who else fed the masses? That was Jesus Christ himself. He fed the masses. They came in droves, and they were hungry not just for food, but for the Holy Spirit. And it was nice that Jordan and I, as well as his brothers, were able to go back to church this week. And even though it was a little bit of social distancing, I couldn't help but wonder if Jesus was there, would they be separating chairs or would they be just trying to pack them in?
Yeah, I mean, again, I didn't say this, but at least they're doing it right. And I feel like maybe it's kind of like they want to fill it all up, but like the community kind of won't let them, but I don't know. At least they're doing it.
Well, you're right. I mean, the community is raining down. And when I say community, I mean the government. They're raining down on what we can do. And even though in Florida we got a lot of freedom, we can go to restaurants, we can go to other things like that. But for some reason, concerts are just off the list, off the reservation. And before they started the service, they were playing a Newsboys concert that had just tens of thousands of people there, and they were all celebrating. And the Bible talks about two or more in my name. I don't think he meant two or more separated in my name. I just feel like it should be a really good event that includes everybody. And it's funny because the sermon talked about don't live in fear, yet here we are socially distancing. And they didn't require masks, though, so that was good, Jor.
Yeah, I mean, we walked in. I would say a good half of the people didn't have masks, but they weren't too, fully all locked down. You know what I mean?
That's right. I wear the Unmasked and Unafraid shirt, which you can get on the Buff Show store. But I find it really interesting because I don't think if Caesar would have issued a decree of mask wearing and social distancing, that wouldn't have went over well with the apostles. Of course, they were fighting other issues like people killing the firstborn. So that's a whole nother thing. But, it's funny because when we go to church, last time we were there, the music director, who I always called Adam Levine from Maroon 5, he looked just like that guy. We haven't been in so long because of the boys of sports. Your sports, Jake and Cooper play baseball. There's 5 a.m. Sundays for me where we're having to go out of town. And I just kind of felt bad. I'm sitting there, and there was a music director that I haven't seen before, and they're all weeping because he's saying goodbye. And I'm like, man, this guy's been here so long. They're all crying that he's saying goodbye. And I didn't even know who he was. So maybe getting back into church more would be a good thing for our family. But I don't want the government to impose on who can go to church. Now, we have sporting events and things. And one day, the boys will grow up and they'll be doing different jobs in sports probably, or maybe not. Who knows? But I tell you what I don't want to ever hear, what I don't ever want to see is a notice on the door of a church that they're at capacity per some liberal, idiotic governor's order. I don't want to see on the door that, sorry, you can't come in. I don't want to see a church unable to be able to help the community because of some ridiculous social distancing guideline. I don't want to see a church not able to help that one child who wanted to get saved and then get baptized, not being able to come in. At VBS, Vacation Bible School, which was canceled this summer, it's been a staple in the community for kids to come in, interact with faith leaders and other children doing crafts and activities, and not being able to do that is a detriment to our society. Kids, my middle son Jacob got saved at VBS, Vacation Bible School. And then he got baptized the next week. There's kids this last summer that did not have that opportunity because of China flu restrictions, which has sadly gone seriously out of control. We talked at an episode last week on Friday. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving here, talking about what people can and can't do in their own homes now. And the state of Washington, Jay Inslee up there, the governor of Washington, says no more than 6 people. No more than 6 people in your home. We've got, Washington, come on. Are you kidding me? You're letting them tell how many people can be in your home, let alone the churches I'm talking about, for crying out loud.
But, like, what are they going to do, though, right? Let's say we have, like, 8 people at our house. What are they going to, like, take them away? Or, like, is there, like, a policy behind it? Or is it just a, I don't know. Is it just a, I don't know. I can't find the word, but you know what I mean?
Is there a penalty?
Yes, basically.
In New York City, all right, I don't know about Washington yet because this just came out today, but in New York City, authorities may hand out up to $15,000 in fines for violations such as buildings occupied at more than 25% capacity or households in violation of the 10-person rule. This is households that can get up to a $15,000 penalty. And New York City is actually allowing more than Washington is. And let me paint you a picture. All right. Washington and California, New York, and Chicago. This is a part of the continuation of the push for the Great Reset. And the Great Reset is to conform the countries to follow a uniform code of socialism. But whatever happens, what always happens in a communist or socialist regime, a socialist country, a communist country, what do you always see? You always see the leaders of socialist countries and communist countries partying on and celebrating life as they see fit. In California, where Gavin Newsom locked it down for Thanksgiving, was just at a very fancy French restaurant with 12 of his closest and dearest friends, enjoying a swanky and wonderful meal and social gathering of good times and parties. And somebody even probably spilled a drink while the rest of his state is facing lockdown. Go to Chicago. Lori Lightfoot, who we deemed Beetlejuice, is sitting there in a street on a megaphone and shouting without a mask to all the Biden supporters out there who came out of the woodwork to celebrate a fake election victory. Fake news victory. Biden's sitting there playing with his blocks. He doesn't want to be president. He's like, oh, we're assembling our cabinet. But Lori Lightfoot's out there celebrating and said sometimes masses have to be gathered in celebration of good things. But you at your home for Thanksgiving, if you're a Bears fan, you can't yell too loud because the authorities might rain hellfire on you like they're doing in New York City. Here's what they said. The Biden COVID task force member, Dr. Gosenhauser, which would be a bad guy in any Pixar film. Dr. Gosenhauer says, when you're gathered together around the table, engaged in conversation, sitting less than 6 feet apart, with your masks down, even in a small group, that's when the spread of the virus can really happen.
I was about to say, wasn't that the bad guy from the first Captain America movie?
Did he work for Hydra?
Yeah, the evil scientist dude.
The little Poindexter fella. Ian Gonzhauser, Chief Quality and Patient Safety Officer at OSU Wexner Medical Center. He even assumes you're going to be wearing a mask at Thanksgiving, and then you got to put it down to have a laugh. That's when the virus really starts. We got a new thing on the Buff Show. Anytime we feel like having bad language, we're going to bleep it out so that the Facebook algorithms don't pick it up and don't know what we're saying. After the break, we're going to try some of that out and see if it works. And we're going to release the Kraken. We're going to tell you what release the Kraken means right after this message on the Buff Show. You stay with us.
Action Plus Pressure Cleaning is the official pressure washing company of The Buff Show. While Matt's doing the dirty work on the show, Action Plus Pressure Washing has been doing the dirty work for the last 15 years in Central Florida. They use a soft wash system to clean pool enclosures, driveways, pool decks, houses, and commercial property. They even clean large and small parking lots and buildings.
Wow!
Action Plus offers other services such as lawn maintenance, one-time service to weekly service, mowing, weeding, edging, and trimming, and hauling away debris. You can get more than one service, and they offer bundle pricing. Check out their weekly, bi-weekly, and monthly services for lawn maintenance and ask about their free standard 2 driveway with house wash services. Family owned and operated. Get your free estimate at actionpluspressurecleaning.com or call 386-506-1048. That's 386-506-1048. Action Plus Pressure Cleaning. They aim to please.
Since 2012, Cellulartronics has been providing Central Florida with the best phone repair and electronics repair. We fix all electronics from iPhone, Samsung, Sony, and many more. We also do TV repair and fix your tablets. Right now, you can get a glass back cover for the iPhone 8 to an iPhone X for only $95. iPhone 11 and up, back covers are only $120. We have 2 locations to serve you in Sanford and DeBary. Visit Cellulartronics.com or call 407-302-3396. That's Cellulartronics.com or 407-302-3396.
A boring website can make your company look really bad. Poor rankings on Google, Yahoo, and Bing means your company does not exist to thousands of monthly searchers. I'm not even on the front page. Come out of hiding with JJC Marketing Solutions and get found to more and more new customers every day. At JJC Marketing Solutions, they offer state-of-the-art website creation, Google SEO, PPC campaigns, and social media marketing that makes your company stand out. No need to go with those national companies that only care about you on the first call. JJC Marketing is located right here in Sanford, and the goal is to help businesses like yours succeed. Get better results. Call 321-765-7710 or visit them at jjcmarketingsolutions.com.
I'm somebody now!
JJC Marketing Solutions.
Welcome back to the Buff Show. Matt Buff, your host, and my son Jordan Buff on the bridge over there. Jordan, we're rocking along. Did I use too many dark and ominous accents?
No, I mean, you described him pretty well. So.
And you can't say Ian Gonzhauser without being dark and deep about it. These people are relentless. The Biden campaign is still pushing for 6-week lockdowns. Lockdowns are failures. Failures. And you're about to see Michigan, Chicago, the entire state of California, Washington, the entire state, New York, the entire state, impose these 2-week lockdowns to try to stop your Thanksgiving. And here comes the accent from the other show. The Grinch who stole Christmas and Thanksgiving. You going to put up with it, people? This is the Great Reset. They party at the top and you suffer at the below. But not suffering was the Million MAGA March on Saturday. What an event. Tens and tens of thousands of Trump supporters, not just in D.C., but all over the country. Excellent photos from Kansas City, excellent photos from Florida, all over the country, everywhere. And it was the most peaceful. I don't even think anybody dropped a glass or anything. It was very peaceful until Black Lives Matter hate group and Antifa hate group came out of the shadows at night and tried to beat up on families and older Trump supporters, people having dinner, making just havoc everywhere. And Biden comes out today and doesn't condemn these folks. He just came out and said, violence is bad. But he didn't mention Antifa or Black Lives Matter. Jordan, if you and I and the family were having dinner and somebody tried, especially some punk-ass kid, tried to throw fireworks at our table, what would your dad do to that person?
I don't think we're allowed to talk about what you would do, or we get censored.
Now we can try out our little censor thing. I would them completely until they couldn't breathe anymore. When you put the bleeps on it, it kind of sounds like the drive-in at Arby's.
Why would we bleep the up part?
I know. We just bleeped up. We got nervous with the bleeps. It was the most peaceful event all day. People do not want to see our election lost to fraud. And when I said heading to the break, release the Kraken, this is Sidney Powell, right? Attorney Sidney Powell, highly respected, best-selling author of License to Lie, exposing the corruption in the Department of Justice. She did great work for General Michael Flynn, who was able to finally come out of hiding. She is on this case with the Dominion voting systems. This is how we win the election for Donald Trump 2020. Don't usually like playing Fox News clips anymore. There's a big civil war happening at Fox News, big time. You have the night hosts, which are being promoted drastically during the daytime. The daytime sucks on Fox News. They're the ones following the company line, but in the corner of the screen, you see the promotion for all the night hosts who are fighting against the calling Vice President Joe Biden the president-elect because he's a complete dolt, idiot, and didn't campaign, and all of a sudden he got more votes than Barack Obama. So daytime Fox is heavily promoting nighttime Fox, and nighttime Fox is blasting daytime Fox. And even Tucker Carlson had to come out and say, guys, we're getting a lot of calls. We're happy here at Fox. They want to use our programming more. But that's just code for I'm probably out the door. These guys are towing the line. And Joe Biden's pretending to be president. Instead of playing his blocks, he's like, I'm putting together a cabinet. Joe Biden, that sounds more like that doctor I was talking about. I'm putting together a cabinet. We gotta come together. We gotta come together. And there's Nancy Pelosi there saying, Nancy Pelosi's like, don't take any members from Congress. We can't afford illegitimate House seats. We got House seats. We got to keep the House because we almost lost the House in the election. I mean, the election where, only Donald Trump lost, but the Republicans picked up a ton of House seats. Probably going to keep the Senate. And when you get rid of all the voter fraud, Trump actually has about 315 electoral votes. I mean, the House members, and by the way, these Republicans that Trump helped you win, running on his agenda, you got to make sure that you fight for the president just like he fought for you. But let me get back to Sidney Powell and release the Kraken. This is her on Maria Bartiromo on Fox News talking about the end-all, be-all thing with Dominion voting systems that is going to sway this election. Here's the clip.
Attorney Sidney Powell is leading the charge against Dominion, and she says she has enough evidence of fraud to launch a massive criminal investigation. Sidney, thanks very much for being here. We appreciate your time this morning. I want to get right into it. We just heard about the software made by Smartmatic from Rudy, and I want to get your take on what you and I spoke about just a few minutes ago, and that is a gentleman named Peter Neffinger. Tell me how he fits into all of this.
Yes, well, he is listed as its former Admiral Peter Neffinger, or retired Admiral Peter Neffinger. He is president and on the board of Smartmatic, and it just so happens he's on Mr. Biden's presidential transition team that's going to be non-existent because we're fixing to overturn the results of the election in multiple states. And President Trump won by not just hundreds of thousands of votes, but by millions of votes that were shifted by this software that was designed expressly for that purpose. We have sworn witness testimony of why the software was designed. It was designed to rig elections. He was fully briefed on it. He saw it happen in other countries. It was exported internationally for profit by the people that are behind Smartmatic and Dominion. They did this on purpose. It was calculated. They've done it before. We have evidence from 2016 in California. We have so much evidence, I feel like it's coming in through a fire hose. I never say anything I can't prove. Secondly, the evidence is coming in so fast, I can't even process it all. Millions of Americans have written, I would say by now. Definitely hundreds of thousands have stepped forward with their different experiences of voter fraud. But this is a massive election fraud, and I'm very concerned it involved not only Dominion and its Smartmatic software, but that the software essentially was used by other election machines also. It's the software that was the problem. Even their own manual explains how votes can be wiped away. They can it's like drag and drop Trump votes to a separate folder and then delete that folder. It's absolutely brazen how people bought this system and why they bought this system. In fact, every state that bought Dominion for sure should have a criminal investigation, or at least a serious investigation of the officers in the states who bought the software. We've even got evidence of some kickbacks, essentially.
Kickbacks are simply this. Kickbacks. I'll give you $10 million to support your company. I almost said Delacroix from Man of the Year.
Again, like we talked about earlier, it's eerily similar.
It's crazy. Dominion voting systems. Dominion thinks that they can have dominion over all our Trump votes out there. What in the crack pipe are you smoking? Yay, we did another bleep.
Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. So kickbacks. I'll give you $10 million to fund your company. You just make sure I win. Democrats, Republicans have been complaining about these voting systems for quite some time. Now they've used them on a national scale to try to tip the vote tally into the favor of the Joe Biden camp. Biden, who doesn't even want the job anyway. And Kamala's over there. I'm this close. I'm this close to being president. I'm this close. I'm this close. Yeah, no, you're not. Sidney Powell is the knight in shining armor. This case comes before the courts, and it's got to be done legitimately. Let's go back and finish the show on this note. First of all, one announcement. The Buzz with Brittany Walker is coming to the Buff Show weekly podcast. She's, of course, my co-host on the Saturday show. She's going out to the streets and talking to the people at college campuses. She's talking to the people about what's going on with this whole situation. And we're going to get the word and the opinion of people on the streets. It's going to be awesome. That's coming very soon. And that segment will be sponsored by Hal Scott Magaro. They're bringing the equipment, the microphones, the recording devices. And these shows, these segments will be played as part of our shows that we do during the week. So that's awesome. And now we're going to leave you with the clip of the day. Watch what happens to this idiot liberal when he messes with Trump supporters. Check this out. He probably doesn't even have insurance, which doesn't surprise you. I just think it's so funny. Jordan, if you ever take a car and make fun of people and crash it into a light pole, your dad probably ain't going to bail you out, bro.
I would hope not, but I don't think I would get in that situation, so.
I've raised you better than that. And now you guys know more. Thank you for watching The Buff Show. You guys stay smart out there. We'll see you soon. Take it easy.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of Georgia, going to find ourselves in a position where
the reason I wanted to bring you on the show today is because everybody's been talking about what to do with schools. The adults are talking, but nobody's listening to the kids. There's how we do it now.
The hell with that. Give me a hand. Shake my hand. There you go. All right. How you doing, Matt?
Good to see you, Chris. President's defense team in that phony impeachment trial. Pam Bondi joins us live on the Buff Show. Pam, good to see you.
Hey guys, how are you?
It's on the Buff Show today. Welcome, Roger Stone. Glad to have you with us.
I am delighted to be back with you.
So everywhere, it's getting hard not to listen to us. We're everywhere.
Love it.
All right, we'll see you next time, and you guys stay smart out there.